Welcome to 18th Century Cooking. I'm John Townsend, and with us today we have a special guest, Michael Dragoo. And we're going to be doing a recipe. Which one is it today?
It's called Scotch Collop by Eliza Smith.
Thanks for joining us today. So, Michael, tell us about Scotch Collops and this recipe in particular.
Well, we just start out with the title, Scotch Collops. Collops, from my past, are slices of meat, quarter-inch to half-inch thick. But scotching, from the recipes I've done in the past, it means to coat or to cover, like a Scotch egg. But in this time period, Scotch can also mean scoring the meat.
Hacking, scoring. In fact, in the recipe, there's the word hack.
Yep.
Which I think is, she's referring to the scoring particularly. This recipe, right, comes from Eliza Smith, Complete Housewife.
1730.
1730.
Yeah. So it's early.
This is a wonderful cookbook that has tons of recipes in it. This is one of the new ones that we are reprinting. If you're interested in this cookbook, there'll be a link down in the description section. So how do we get started? What's our main ingredient here, obviously?
Well, they're using beef. It can be it can be a veal, or it can be a more mature. I've got a piece of beef here, and I've cut it into my collops already, and I'm just going to scotch it.
So what cut of meat are we using here?
This is just a roast. I'm gonna scotch these up.
Okay.
But while I'm doing this, while I'm scotching this beef, if you want to mix up start our dredge, it's just it's 4 egg yolks and some melted butter.
Okay, so into this mixture we put in nutmeg, which the recipe calls for, and a little bit of salt. It goes into the liquids here, not into what we would have gassed into the flour. But now what?
We're just going to dredge the collops in the egg mixture and then the flour, and then we're going to fry them up. First we put a little butter in the pan just to fry up our collops. We're going to get them about halfway to 2/3 of the way through. Once this beef is cooked to taste, to your preference, we're going to add a good gravy, a rich gravy, and we're going to add some mushrooms. This gravy consists of really whatever you want it to. It can be bones left over from a previous meal. It's carrots, celery. I've got some parsnips I've minced up. Onion. It's whatever you want it to be. And once again, if you like your meat pink, you'd pull it out a little sooner. If you'd like it cooked through, you just leave it a little later.
Well, there we are. It looks fun, smells great.
Yep.
Now we're supposed to squeeze a little bit of orange over the top of this.
Yes.
So we're going to do that. There we go.
What kind of oranges would they have had then? These Chinese oranges? Or?
Right. So if you look in the cookbooks, they mention 2 different kinds of oranges, China oranges and Seville oranges. Most of the time, they were probably referring to Seville oranges. So this would have been a bitter orange. Likely, I'm guessing. She doesn't necessarily pick it out. So.
Can we get those today anywhere?
Sometimes you can find them. They're not easy to find. So
you ready?
Let's give this a try.
Oh, let's give this another try.
What? That wasn't good.
No, it's going to be better.
Yeah. So
this is the egg was very thick, so we've got that kind of egg center on the outside of this. Kind of like a Swiss steak with the flour, but there's more depth of flavor here with the this gravy.
Well, that gravy's killer. I mean, anytime you do that, you're gonna make this, wonderful. It's got some great,
oh man,
the mushroom flavor is in there. All that gravy. Of course, you can taste that nutmeg. It just comes right out.
So, do you think that they were scotching this to get it more tenderized, or to get the flavor more in the meat?
Well, probably both. But I mean, and so that it grips onto that breading as we put it on there. So that really gives it a way to adhere to it.
That's excellent. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, excellent recipe. Eliza Smith did a wonderful job.
Yeah,
Again, though.
Yes, she did.
Scotch collops show up so often in 18th century cookbooks. So this is one of those just standard recipes that you should expect. And again, this recipe is from the Complete Housewife, Eliza Smith, 1730. This is a 1730 edition. And if you're interested in this facsimile copy, the internals are just exactly like the period cookbook. So it's a real fun one. And in the back of this one, as Michael mentioned,
it's talking about different medicines.
Medicines here for chilblains, for corns on the feet, to stop vomiting. So this book is very helpful. If you're interested in The Complete Housewife, you'll find a link down in the description section. This one is chock full of great recipes. So I want to thank Michael for coming in. He did all the prep work and picked these recipes out, and
My pleasure.
They turned out great. So thank you for doing all the work on
sir.
these one, and it's so much fun and so tasty.
They are.
So you know, I really want to thank everyone who supports us and helps us out. So much encouragement on the channel, so many great comments, so many wonderful views, and sharing our videos. When you do that, that is so special. It helps people learn about the channel and find us in the first place. So thank you so much for that support. And I want to thank you for coming along today with us as we savor the flavors and the aromas of the 18th century.